Shop at Majestic Supermarket for kind and courteous service. In addition to your grocery list, we also stock perfume and gift sets, household items, over-the-counter drugs, pet food and accessories, footwear, mini hardware items and much more. It's a one-stop shop. We accept TT cards, links and credit card. Visit us at the corner of Little Cora Road and Komoto Main Road, Komoto. Telephone contact 643-94104, Majestic Supermarket.
Welcome to our program Towards a Structured World Spiritually. If you take a cursory glance at what is happening around us now, you would notice there is a lot of law and order that is meant to be and to allow us to live peacefully. However, truthfully speaking, there seems to be more lawlessness and disorder. How do we come out of that? Time and again, when we put in our installment of prayer, meditation, reflection, there seems to be a need to increase our awareness of who we truly are. Whilst we are called human beings, it is important to recognize that the human part of us, so to speak, is our body. Our body is made of the 5 elements, which we are quite familiar with: air, water, fire, earth, etc. But this being in the body is the one who acts through the body, the one who enters at the appropriate time in the mother's womb, and of course, in due course of time, the one who exits the body. This being, which is called soul or spirit or atma or ruh, many different descriptions and names, is truly the one who is the master of the body. So why is it that lawlessness in attitude, behavior, etc., and disorder seems to be the more prevalent things around us now? No need to go into too many examples. We all have relationships with many people. We have interactions while driving, while doing many things around. So to be able to really see where we are going, according to the topic of this program, towards a structured world spiritually, we must be able to step back and double check how much awareness do I have spiritually and how much awareness do I have physically. If I am the one who is powering this body, this invisible being, this tiny infinitesimal point of light, dear friends, it means that there is a need for me to know myself to such an extent that I am aware as in I have accurate awareness when I am communicating with others. The body has 5 senses which we are quite aware of: ability to see, smell, taste, etc. But this being that is called soul, or spiritual being, or Atma, many names, is not visible like how our bodies are visible. It is an invisible to the eye being that enters. And what are the faculties that this being possesses? As mentioned, the soul enters the body and begins to utilize the 5 senses. But what is the makeup of the soul, so to speak? The soul has 3 faculties. Of course, we are quite aware of one of the main faculty, which is our mind. My mind says to do this, my mind says to do the other. But we don't make decisions with our mind. The mind brings up ideas, options, thoughts, etc. There is another part of us, and that faculty of the soul, the first being our mind, which generates thoughts based on situations, memory, etc. That faculty that rules your life, whether you are aware or not aware, is called your intellect. So if the mind generates thoughts, it means that it can be considered to be a production line. We are constantly generating thoughts. Research tells us we have 12, 15, 20,000 thoughts or so per day. Maybe we're thinking a little too much. And this is why stress and lawlessness and disorder comes in our attitude and behavior time and again. So when we are able to utilize this faculty called our intellect, then it means that we will be able to decipher the outcome of what we are about to speak, what we are about to do, in a manner in which, when it becomes a habit to have this spiritual awareness, dear brothers and sisters, friends, it means that the outcome of my interaction with the other person or group of people, or even on the phone or whatever, we will have that awareness of regard and respect. Why? Because we become more aware that the soul is an eternal being playing a part. And law tells us that there will be a return of what I did. So if I planted good seeds of thought, I spoke politely, no matter what the other person or people are saying, I am maintaining mental poise. Why? Because I know who I am. I am a soul, I am light energy. I am not the body. If I leave this body, the body would not be able to say anything. So lawlessness and disorder comes in a gradual way, like a virus. And after a while, we develop what is called the third faculty of the soul. Mind generates thoughts, intellect puts them together, makes a decision, and then we speak, we act, etc. The other aspect is called a Hindi word called sanskars. This is translated as latencies, latent proclivities, memory track, personality. My personality like this, or my personality is like that. So it's important that this stockroom, this repository, dear friends, of our attitude, vision, speech, actions, it goes into your sanskars. All of this is in the soul. Huh? So mind generates thoughts, intellect analyzes and decides, and then we apply via speech, attitude, even behavior, and a lot of this is visible sometimes in our eyes. We give out a lot of energy through our eyes, because it is said that the eyes are the windows of the soul. It is also understood that the soul sits on the throne of the forehead between the eyebrows, where it dispatches, it manages the entire body and our life, so to speak. So when we have these experiences, slow down and look back at your life, even this morning, whatever time today or yesterday, a week from today, or even way past, and see what we have put into the stockroom. What sanskars, nature, behaviors we have created over a period of time. When we begin to recognize that, hey, wait a minute, if I behave in this way, it will be recorded. If I behave in that way, it will also be recorded. So this automated system that we have, when it goes awry, out of order, then gradually, not quickly, lawlessness and disorder begins to take up shop in our sanskars, our memory bank, our personality. And sometimes you hear statements like, well, this is how I am, take it or leave it. That has a tinge of arrogance in it. And arrogance is not the natural nature of a soul. The natural nature of a soul is coolness and calmness as a result of being peaceful, not peaceless. But if our system has an overload of peaceless behavior, improper attitude, words that are inappropriate, after a period of time, when the mind, take your time on this, pulls data from the stockroom, our personality, what kind of data would it pull? It will pull the type of data which immediately will show up in your attitude from what we have accumulated over a period of time. So how do we begin to change and transform that which we feel does not create what is called beneficial karma activities? Because if you do things and you say things, we all included, that you know, you are aware, the intellect realizes that this is not right, but you still say it, you still do it, your behavior exhibits that, then this incredible thing called your conscience, it begins to die. What does die mean? It has two meanings, D-I-E and D-Y-E. D-I-E means we go into a stage of dirt, so to speak, covering the goodness of who you are. And D-Y-E is influence. Oh, I see this, or I smell this, the five senses, and I want this. So to be able to be objective and have mental poise, there is a need to step back. Practically every human being has lawlessness and disorder, with all respect, to some extent within the personality. And since we are on a journey, no one's body would last 150, 200 and 300 years. No, it doesn't. The body is perishable, even though the components of the body, the matter, the 5 elements, is not created or destroyed. So it is prudent, respected friends, to be able to manage your physical diet and your spiritual diet. Which one comes first? As a baby child growing up, we are dependent on our parents, etc., for food and even for learning the language, etc. But as we grow up, we begin to become independent. And self-independence is a product shortage in the world today. So it's important to recognize that when we say self-independence, self can be used to mean the self or soul, and you can take it further into SELF, subtle energy, life force. That is the soul. Let's take a break.
Shop at Majestic Supermarket for kind and courteous service. In addition to your grocery list, we also stock perfume and gift sets, household items, over-the-counter drugs, pet food and accessories, footwear, mini hardware items and much more. It's a one-stop shop. We accept TT cards, links and credit card. Visit us at the corner of Little Kora Road and Komoto Main Road, Komoto. Telephone contact 643-94104, Majestic Supermarket.
Welcome once again. So we are looking at understanding ourselves, the being in the body, the soul, the one who powers the body, the one who acts through the body, the one who creates karma, so to speak. So it's important to recognize that we don't live alone. We have an impact on others. And the more we are able to generate positive energy, is the more that the outcome of what we do, what we speak, even how we look at others, our attitude, it should always be one of understanding, a certain degree of maturity, and a feeling of being a well-wisher for that other person. So you may be asking why. That person just come and insult me, they put me in my place, and you asking me to be a well-wisher? You are a child of God, the soul, and that person or group of people are also child or children of God. But the personality of that person, similar to ours, is created and built up over a period of time, and what they have put in, especially the influences. So when we are influenced, it's important to recognize that, let me learn the art of stepping back. Stepping back internally, a good method to recognize that is, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should listen more and speak accordingly. And that pause, by being a good listener, even that is showing respect to others. And the more you show respect, naturally the strength within of developing respect and regard will begin to have benevolent layers on your personality. In this manner, the natural nature of the soul, when a baby is born and you see this, all of us speak about this. Oh, look how peaceful, child looks like an angel, etc. And when someone has passed away, final ceremony, final rite, we say such nice things that he has gone here and he has gone there. But we have no control over that at that time. Our connection, the influence we receive, as well as how we influence others, are based on when the soul is in the body. At this point in time, I would like to interject, remind that previously this program was called Namaste, Awakening the Divinity Within. Now it has been changed towards a structured world internally. Why internally? We should always, now this sounds like a joke, think before you speak. Of course, you always think before you speak. Whether you speak good words, bad words, mediocre words, or whatever. The important aspect there is to utilize the intellect. Know that you are a spiritual being whilst you are speaking. As a student of the Brahma Kumari's World Spiritual University, of which this knowledge is based, it's important to recognize that meditation is synonymous with medication. When body gets ill, we go to the doctor and he prescribes accordingly, and God willing, we get better by adhering to the prescription. But that's a bodily thing. It's important. Time and again, the doctor will also tell you, or someone who is close to you, or you may even go online and check to see what type of foods that you are eating. Food has an impact. Food has vibrations, even from the people who prepare the food, my friends. Sometimes you hear people make that statement, oh, I would eat anything from this person because they have such a good personality, good energy. And sometimes you hear vice versa. Why do we say that? Because we are aware of this energy that is around us, that we create, that others create. So getting back to law and order in terms of lawlessness and disorder, it is time for us to begin to restructure. And this restructuring internally will naturally come out externally, especially through our personality and the manner in which we do things. There is a very good example which I came across a long time now. Two men were on a job site. So someone was passing and said, hey, how are you all going? So one said, it's the same old work and more work every day. In other words, somewhat discouraging. Then he asked the other person, hey, how is the job going? How are you going? And the other person said, oh, I have all the enthusiasm for the world to get what we have to get done in the right way. Same question, two different replies from two people who are doing very similar jobs. They were building a church, a house of prayer. So our perspective is how our vibrations are created. So one was having, oh Lord, this work is hard work, complaining, and the other one, he had the enthusiasm to recognize that I'm building a place where people will come and worship, they will pray, they will meditate, whatever, they will get close to God. So our perspective on our life should be, what are we building? What are our services? What are our attitude? What are our vibrations? To be able to manage this, we should take conscious time out. And this is called meditation. When we go to sleep, body relaxes, rests, and the soul, the activity slows down. This is why when we get up refreshed. This is also why we should go to sleep calm, relaxed, comfortable. And then, I'm sure the medical experts will tell you, your body will rejuvenate, etc. and many things when you go to sleep calm, well rested, and of course not with your stomach full of food. There's timings which everybody is aware of. No need to go into details of that. But sometimes we have to review and understand our practices. So what we will do now is give a commentary, and this will allow us to step back and initiate some newness as we move forward, so that a greater sense of calmness, of truth, of law and order, without law and order being like that. No. Law and order should be accompanied with love. And this love, the source of this love, is the Divine Himself. As is the Father, so is the child. The DNA of the parent is also within the child, in both body and in this case the parent being of the soul, whom we say is God the Father, Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, and all the many, many, many praises we have. So let us take a few minutes relaxation, time out, to really experience who am I and the faculties of the soul. Sit in comfortably. I begin to relax my body. Starting with my toes and my feet, I gently relax. My lower extremities are very, very relaxed, as my thoughts are slowing down. My shoulders drop slightly, and my face is very cool, relaxed, and very, very calm and serene. I become aware of this light energy, a spiritual star sparkling in the middle of the forehead, between the eyebrows. This is who I am, a soul, a spiritual star, a being of peace. In this awareness, as body is relaxed and my perception is heightened spiritually, a deep sense of peace comes over me. as I attract the purest energy from way beyond this world, like a shower of light, I am experiencing God's love, God's light, accompanied by a deep sense of peace. This energy heals the mind, awakens the intellect, and gradually cleanses my sanskaras or latencies or that which is logged in my personality. So in silence, I experience myself light with a sense of closeness to the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is the ocean of love, peace, and lightness. It is said, in silence there is peace, in peace there is happiness, and in happiness there is bliss. Om Shanti, and thank you very much. This expression of Om Shanti is an ancient expression that means simply, I am a peaceful being. Peace is our true nature, and as we move from whatever degrees of lawlessness and disorder, let us once again become lawful and loveful. Thank you very much, and do have a good life.
Shop at Majestic Supermarket for kind and courteous service. In addition to your grocery list, we also stock perfume and gift sets, household items, over-the-counter drugs, pet food and accessories, footwear, mini hardware items, and much more. It's a one-stop shop. We accept TT cards, links, and credit card. Visit us at the corner of Little Koma Road and Komoto Main Road, Komoto. Telephone contact 643-94104, Majestic Supermarket.